And here we go. We're back. It's From the Margins, your host, Jimmy Alfont, and of course myself, David Washington. Welcome back, Jimmy.
Welcome
Whoa.
back to everybody. And today's a great day. At least Matt Gates decided to withdraw his nomination.
Yes,
In
he has.
reality, it was also a matter of numbers. There were four Republican senators who said they were not going to vote for him. And with that margin, he could not win.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was mathematical impossible. Plus, at the same time, there was a concern that the Senate might subpoena the record from the House, and that might come out, and he doesn't want that because he really wants to run for governor of the state of Florida.
Yeah. Yeah. I think at one point, Jimmy, he talked about, oh no, I'm not interested in the governorship. And looking back and say, hey, I see that if Trump had always had him in mind for attorney general or for some other cabinet position, if he had won, which Trump has won the presidency. So, I mean, Representative Gates has been a very tactical Politico. And despite not being popular amongst all of his peers on Capitol Hill, he's popular enough with the right people to stay out of trouble.
Yes, and he has a powerful father who is a
Yes, he does. State senator.
state senator who has taken advantage of everything he can. His father's very powerful, and there's money in the family, and he can run for for governor. But there is something here that I would like to throw in. Just a question. Let's say DeSantis decides to appoint himself for the Senate for Rubio's seat, which technically there's another advantage. It still has 4 more years to go, so he can appoint himself for and be in that seat for 4 years, not 2 years, 4 years before
Or
he has to go for an election. He will leave an Hispanic woman as governor of the state of Florida, who might be smart enough to decide to run on her own, have 2 years to control the local state party, get favors, get money, and say to Gates, don't go for it because if you do, I will bring up your past. That might be something good. Now, have said that, I know very little about this woman, so I can't say how what direction she would take the party, but or the state. But that's an issue for another day in another matter. Unless uh, gets to Trump and say, "Hey, appointed to something, so I don't have to run against her," which
right.
wouldn't surprise me that that happened. After all, our you elected president home state is Florida. Whoa!
That's right, Jimmy. I mean, if the stars align themselves real nice, this could look good for Governor DeSantis and a lasting legacy for him and Lieutenant Governor Nunez if she does decide and win the governorship. I think if she did run for governor, um, the her voter base would bring in more Hispanic women. Um, and I think given how she given her agenda, which right now we don't know if she has an agenda because the lieutenant governor really isn't. It's more ceremonial in my position, in my belief, a more ceremonial position than anything. But if her agenda or her platform is moderate, I think she'll be able to peel off Democratic voters, especially female voters, female Hispanic voters.
Well, let's not stop pretending. This Florida Democratic Party is a joke. Florida
Yeah,
Democratic Party doesn't spend anything on Hispanics. As a matter of fact, doesn't spend any money on getting out the vote, and does very none work to do anything. Uh, and what it will be even more detrimental is if she runs as a woman against a man. It's going to be interesting who would get the female vote and who would get the male vote. And honestly, one thing that we have to understand: Republicans fall in place. You can put a moron as a candidate for them, and they will elect that moron. Uh, as the current party. So that's one thing. We try to be critical of our own, not liberal enough, not politically correct. Uh, uh, it does not understand the needs of the transgender. Does not look. You're not going to find somebody perfect. Okay, stop that.
Yeah.
Democratic Party. You're not going to find somebody perfect. We all have defects. I have defects. As a matter of fact, I said this morning at breakfast something that I've always believed. I know the strategy of running. I know Orange County like the back of my head. I know who you can trust in this county that calls themselves Democrats and who you cannot. The problem that I have is that campaigning, I'm too honest. And I've always understand that. I'm not going to lie. I won't sugarcoat it. I won't pretend that something is when it's not. I never forget that when I worked for clerk of the court, somebody asked me my position on abortion. I said, realistically, it's immaterial because all I'm going to be doing is entering paperwork that attorneys file and people file in lawsuits and stuff like that. I have nothing to do with that. Oh, but I want to know your position. Well, I am pro-choice. Oh, and realistically, other politicians will try to avoid that and walk around it, but not me. I I
Yeah.
try to be as honest as I can, and sometimes, if you want to get elected, that gets in your way. At the same time,
Yeah.
one of my worst problems is that because I know so much about strategy and politics, I tend not to listen to my campaign managers. But that's another issue for another day.
You are my Achilles heel when my clients do not listen to me. But it's the nature of the beast, Jimmy. It's the nature of the beast,
Well,
and it's man, politics is nonstop, and there's always a curveball. There's always something going on, and being able to pivot when necessary is not so easy sometimes. But
no.
however, nothing's really new under the sun, at least from my perspective.
And what's sad is that I'm seeing that come next month when we elect the new county chairs for the Democratic Party, and come January when we elect the chairman of the state party,
Yeah,
it looks like there's going to be no changes. Zero. We're going to elect the same people,
yeah,
and basically we're going to prove Einstein correct. That the definition of insanity is repeating the same act and
yeah,
expecting a different result. Uh, we're not going to be able to raise money. We're
yep,
not going to be able to recruit serious candidates.
yep.
And basically, right now, I keep hearing that Jerry Demings is meeting with people in January, already telling them that he wants to discuss their political future, and really he wants to discuss his. But uh, and he's going to be telling them that he's going to run for governor of the state of Florida. We know that when a senator in the South Florida wants to run for governor, Nikki might be running for governor. The only concern I have is that they're not thinking. This is the problem I have with all these people. They think party wise. They think that they could get this vote, they could get that vote, and all that. And they're not thinking
Yeah.
that if DeSantis appoints himself and Lieutenant Governor Nunez becomes Governor Nunez, she has 2 years to do a decent job and to run on her own with the Republican machinery
Yes,
10 times better than the Democrat machinery. This is not a
yes.
Republican state. This is a mismanaged Democratic state.
Wow, Jimmy, that puts things into perspective. That is a different way of framing this whole conversation about the Democratic Party here in Florida and how they're becoming increasingly irrelevant. I like that. I like that. And you know, just to kind of step into the national platform, if DeSantis does decide to name himself senator, he does give Lieutenant Governor Nunez the opportunity of doing exactly what you said, which is brilliant. And I mention this because Nate Silver brought it up recently. It's been talked about before. But why the hell didn't the Democrats think the same way? The national level Democrats, the elite, think the same way, and saying to Joe Biden when they kneecapped him, "Hey, step away from the nomination and let's take it step down from the presidency, so that Vice President Kamala Harris could be president for the remainder of the term and show America her true leadership. Show that she can lead, show that she is presidential material, and keep the consistency. Keep going. Why stop? Let's keep going."
The problem with that theory, and this is the problem that I start having with this. First of all, as much as I still receiving emails and texts from them asking me for money, you lost. I'm not giving you any money.
I know.
I don't know why you're doing this, but three words. No, I don't want to hear one word from you, much less three. But the problem was that she was too associated with him. And the problem was, and one thing that we learned in 19, she's not a great campaigner.
She's
And
not.
second, I think what most people resented was that she was imposed, she was not elected. She didn't go through a primary. But most important to everybody, and this is some things that most people do not understand what I'm about to say. She was cursed by maintaining the bad people that Biden has selected for his reelection campaign,
Sure.
which do not know how to effectively run a national campaign,
Yeah.
who have not learned that we need to stop from trying to be the upper class and to be with everybody, to stop talking that Trump is bad and that he is evil, that he's weird, that he's a fascist, and say what I'm going to do, and sometimes use some common language. Shit, it doesn't hurt to use that word, but people like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You need to say, that guy is lying, and let me tell you why he's lying. He's going to increase your taxes this way, this way, this way. He doesn't
Right.
care about you. He doesn't. He all he cares is about the rich. And you know what the Democrats should be doing now? Is just putting together a campaign of every time the Republicans fuck up, putting an ass on TV. Look what they did. Look how they fucked up. Look how they hurt you. But no, 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 no.
They
They
didn't do that. Yeah.
right now they're so disjuncted that they don't. I'll ask you right now, just a stupid question. Normally, the president is the leader of the party. Okay,
Correct.
we don't. Let's stop pretending that Joe Biden is the president. Is the president of the party, because he's not. Pelosi is
No
out,
way.
and Schumer is an idiot, and
Yeah.
so is the congressman from New York. Who is the leader of this party? They chastise Bernie because he tried to say, "Hey, somebody has to take leadership. I'm going to do it." Look, at least I admire that he said somebody has to do this. Let me do it. And
Agreed.
everybody chastised him because of this or that. I don't care. But right now, the party is without a leader, is without a head, is without direction, and it has no heart or thought of what it's going to do. And that is what really scares me, because we don't have time to wait for 180 days before the next election for a leader to show up. We need somebody now. If one thing we learned with Trump that I don't think you people understand, Trump lost in 2021. He was campaigning. 2022 he was campaigning. 2023 he was campaigning. 2024 he was campaigning.
That's
He
right.
never stopped his rallies. We do
Okay.
rallies 3 months before the election. Prior to that, not at all. And I got to tell you something. As much as you want to criticize Bernie Sanders, the last person who ran as a Democrat who had huge rallies was Bernie.
Yeah.
Okay, who could
That's true.
get to the youth and to the poor people was him. As a matter of fact, he did better than Biden and then Trump with the Hispanic vote, because he talked to them about things, the economy, that they want to hear. I'm not saying that we need to go get Bernie. That's not the answer. But we need somebody to step forward and start becoming the leader of this party because we have nobody. This party is so disorganized, is so disbanded, and so fucked up. I'm sorry, fucked up.
Jimmy, the Trump campaign and the American voters effectively decapitated the leadership of the Democratic Party across the nation. As you said, the Democrats are without a leader. And I'll go further. It's not Jamie Harrison. Is no one that comes to mind that we could turn to and say, yes, that's our leader. That's our future. Um, I do want to push back on one thing you said about the weaknesses of Kamala Harris and the Kamala Harris Tim Walz uh, campaign. As politicals, as strategists, as campaign consultants, the onus is on us to take the weaknesses of our clients and turn them into strengths and look at the strengths of the opponent, the opposition, and turn those strengths into weaknesses. And so that's why I stand by what I said about Biden. And I said this. I was with Biden and I still am. He's the only man who's defeated Trump. He's the only person to have defeated Trump in a presidential election. Um, I stood with him, and when he stated that he was dropping out of the race, I was incredibly disappointed. I was looking forward to another rematch of Trump and Biden. He should have resigned, in my opinion. Just stop the bleeding. He should have resigned, and then Kamala Harris has the opportunity to build significance. And when I say significance, her as the president
Yeah,
and get comfortable and get people comfortable because voters are all about their feelings. On average, the American voter is at like a sixth grade reading level, so it's a TikTok generation. And so people want that information. People want that information very quickly, and putting her into that leadership role of the president so quickly and giving her the keys to the White House, I think would embolden even more of her base supporters to rally around her and give those voters who were on the fence, the so-called undecideds, an opportunity to say, hey, you know, she's president, maybe this can work out. Maybe as president, she's able to address more clearly and with more definition those things that played against the Biden Harris administration. The economy. It was always about the economy, period. And unfortunately, like you said, all those other things, it sunk the party. It sunk the party and it sunk her campaign.
I would agree that if Biden had quit, she would have had a better chance. The only concern I have is being realistic. She would have become president with a Senate that was Democrat, a House that was Republican, and she was not going to get anything through. And there was so much she could do. But by the time that she became president, the Biden Harris administration has such a bad reputation that I'm not sure if that would have fixed it. But to be honest, the way these people ran the campaign, I'm not even sure if her being president, these people who claim they know how to run a national campaign, who
Yeah,
never had a discussing the economy, who
yeah,
had them calling these people weird,
yeah.
who had them
Brett.
saying that I'm better than Trump, and let me talk about abortion because that is an issue that's going to get us elected. And all these pounders saying the abortion is going to be screw it, people. Jim Carver and I will tell you, it's the economy, stupid. It's always been the economy. It
Always.
is not anything else. As a matter of fact, I'll go a step further. I'm going to ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Do you think that Biden won or that Trump lost?
Trump lost. I didn't even hesitate, Jimmy. I did not even hesitate.
So when people tell me Biden won, nah, it was Trump. It,
Yes.
it, it was Trump.
But that's
Piece
the
of shit.
reality.
Okay, and this time around, I have to give it credit. This is the thing that we don't, we're strategists, and we need to talk from a different. I have to give credit to Trump. He found some good, competent
Yeah.
strategists, okay, who told him, yes, he would get off this, but the commercials that would come out, they were on the right subject, okay,
Yeah.
the economy. But for some reason, the Democratic Party has forgotten the middle class, has gone too woke,
Yeah.
has right now forgotten take for assume that the African Americans and the Hispanics are going to vote for me, and I don't have to spend money on them or anything like that, and they're the people who are going to take me to victory. Is stupid, okay, and that the only persons that are going to work is 7 states. The rest of you, who cares? Look, the proof is in the pudding. The Republican Party, through Rick Scott's campaign, okay, I'm going to call it out the way it was, worked the Puerto Rican vote. Told him he was going to get them statehood, even though once he got reelected, he voted against statehood for Puerto Rico. But that's a story for another day. He told them that the moral issues and that he was going to fight, make sure that the economy in Puerto Rico got better and that the electricity and that. What did we do? Nothing. What did we spend? Not a penny.
Yeah.
But don't worry, the Hispanics are going to come out and vote for us, even though we don't do shit for them. And for the record, Biden betrayed Puerto Rico. Big.
Yeah.
Promised something, and then he reneged on it. He
Yeah.
fought to prevent that from happening. So let's not be wondering why the Hispanic people voted against him, it's particularly the Puerto Ricans. Plus, with all due respect, the Harris campaign here was non-existent. You and I know that their strategy was they had written off Florida. They were
Yeah.
not going to spend any money, time, or effort in Florida. Yeah, they would send some of their people like Bill Clinton, who is dead politically, as far as I'm concerned. Hillary Clinton, dead, and the Obamas, yeah, they're dead too. We need new blood. I don't
Yes.
know who, but we need new blood. You know who is crazy enough to take on one Pence and Trump in our party?
Who was that, Jimmy?
The great senator from the great state of Pennsylvania, Mr. Feather.
Yes.
He
That's
is
right.
crazy enough to call them liars. He's crazy enough to call them assholes, and
Yeah.
and go forward and do what never needs to be done. And he doesn't dress like he does. I don't think he owns a suit and tie.
I know. I
I,
saw him today on television commenting on Representative Gates withdrawing his nomination. He was in shorts and hoodie. I was like, okay, I'm still getting used to
that's
that.
a man of the people. We have too many
Yes. Yes.
elites. We've become the party of the elites.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
you know that's
So,
interesting.
so Jimmy, looking at our analysis, the Harris Walz campaign was doomed from the beginning.
Yeah, it was built originally for Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Halfway through, it went through the other thing. It was listening to CNBC, uh,
Yeah.
Joe,
And
and it was
listen,
listening to CNN
oh
saying
yeah,
that the abortion was going to be the issue. They
yeah.
spend the most money and time and effort on that, and they just don't get it. It's always, always, always. As a matter of fact, there was one debate between Clinton and Bush that a lot of people don't remember. That through that I said Jim Carver kept earning his money. And it was that during the debate, they asked them if they knew the price of a gallon of milk.
Mm.
Bush said, I haven't been in a supermarket in years, I have no idea. And Bill Clinton said, hey, yeah, it's 2.19. And the commentator said, well, really, according to our thing, nationally it's 2.24, but you're close enough.
Yeah.
You know, and Bill
Well, no-
Clinton had to think that he could project that he was one of the people.
yeah.
He was somebody
Exactly.
common and stuff like that. Uh, uh, Obama gave us hope the first time around. The second time around, it was kind of close. He
Yeah.
won by a close margin. But we need somebody who's a leader that the people can respect, that the people like, and that the people don't think that that person's putting them down. Because
Yeah.
the worst of that was Hillary Clinton. Oh my God, she thought she really thought that everybody was beneath her, and that's
Yeah.
why she lost the
And it
election.
was going to be a coronation, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. And before we get to our local portion of this conversation, um, I can only see Gretchen Whitmer, governor of Michigan, and Shapiro, Governor Shapiro of Pennsylvania, at the top of that list right now. And again, the young mayor of Milwaukee, I really like Cavalier Johnson, I believe his name is. I love to see him on the national stage. Shout out to Cavalier. But yeah, Jimmy, Democrats are hurting.
They're hurting, and it's their own damn fault.
It's their own
For
doing.
years, the powers within the party have claimed to be centrist, and they're not. They're to the right of it. They have pushed and pushed and pushed away the progressives of the party or the liberals of the party, whatever you want to call them. I don't care that much. They have pushed. They stole away the election from Bernie because they thought he cannot beat Trump, and they did that. They have basically taken AOC and pushed her aside, even though I think she's part of the future of the party. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. They have done everything within their power to push away. They take it for granted the Hispanic vote. They take it for the African American vote.
Yeah.
They have always thought that they have the women's vote. Shit, we lost the women's vote, but we have it. I don't. They are parting from false premises, and basically there's a group of 25 to 30 people who control, and that's it. And with all due respect, it is not a Democratic Party. It's a control party. It
Yeah.
is not open to the people. It is. We didn't have a primary. It was everybody who might have run against Biden was told that if they run, they would kill their political future, and we know that. So people stop pretending that there was a primary and that he was.
Right.
He stole the first one and he stole the second one. He was a very ineffective president. We have to accept that, and be and she was attached to his presidency, so people saw her as an extension of him. So no matter what they had done, and basically what did they do? They say he's going to quit, but we're going to put her in, and basically they call all the delegates and force them to vote for her. I'm sorry, but the Democratic Party is not right now a very Democratic party. That's why I keep saying we need to get rid of all the old farts and bring in new blood.
I agree, Jimmy. I agree. And speaking of new blood, let's talk about local Democratic politics. Like you said
Go for it.
earlier, we the Democrats and the Republicans have their reorganization meetings in December. They'll be choosing new leadership. I know that there will be more than just one state committee man and state committee woman representing the local DEC. There'll be like 25 of them.
Yeah,
The change in the bylaws is hard to keep up. It's driving me crazy. However, as we were talking, off screen, we may be looking at business as usual.
I don't know. It's going to be business as usual. Look,
Mhm.
Sammy's going to win his reelection. Nikki's going to run her reelection. Let's stop pretending. Let
Mhm.
me say something that most people do not know. Nikki took care of. She won. She made a promise to the Black Caucus and of certain things. She, the people of Palm Beach, three county chairs voted against her, and she got the committee man and committee woman to vote, and she hosted those three chairs and boards out and replaced it with new people to send a message: don't screw with me, because if you don't vote for me, I will take you
Yeah.
out. If you run against me, I will take you out. So basically, right now, nobody's going to run because nobody has that force in the state of Florida. Plus, the Florida Democratic Party is a joke. It's a joke.
Yeah.
There's nothing there. There's no power. They don't help the local parties. They try to suck money out of them, and they have no result. Orange County is strong because we have a local strong Democratic Party. But now, if we're going to discuss locally, the past chairman of the party, West, ended fourth in an election of four. Uh, so he couldn't win. I've talked to many people who are elected officials here, Democrats, who will tell you to your face, I didn't get any help from the local party at all,
Yeah.
or very little. So that's the truth. Uh, they had to get involved in two of the county commissioners' races simply because the uh, the hotel association and the uh, realtors got behind two gentlemen and spent money, so they had to try to equal it out, and the races were close. So yes, uh, and that's it. But said that, we have another phenomenon that we need to discuss. There's going to be redistricting,
That's right.
and some people think that uh, the people are going to care about democratic things. I can tell you right now
No.
that some people are going to look for revenge. There's a good chance that certain parts of the all it's going to go from 6 to 8, so they're going to have, all of them going to have to lose. So yeah, why not take out the portions where you did the weakest
That's right.
and keep the parts where you were the strongest as 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 far as your re-election committee? That's going to happen.
Yes.
Look,
Agreed. Agreed.
they don't care if it's these people who are going to be appointed and the county commission, when they sit down to approve it, they don't care if it's going to be this amount of Hispanic districts or this amount of African American districts or this. What they care about: am I electable? Let me
That's
get
right.
rid of everything that is not good for me. Send it to some other place,
Yep.
and basically that's it. If that happens to be, look, there's a good chance that the new District 2, whatever number is going to get down the line, is going to be more Republican
That's right.
than before. Okay, there is a thing to make two strong Hispanic districts and two with potential to be strong Hispanic districts. That might happen, but I doubt it. And there's also a, a suspect that they're going to try and make two African American districts, which is going to be virtually not a good idea. And let me explain to you why it's not a good idea. Making them 38 and 43 is not a shoe in that it's going to be an African American elected there.
Exactly.
And once the African Americans notice that, they're going to try to push to have at least one strong one and then not care about the other one. Okay?
Right.
So there's going to be too many interests here involved that are selfish, that are looking for their own preservation, and don't care if we have four Hispanic districts, if we have three, if we have this, if we have that. So realistically, no. And
Mm.
the other thing is, it's going to be interesting, is that by doing it this way, are the people going to, like, and I'm going to give examples, are people like Christina, Maribel, and others going to have to wait 4 years or 2 years? It's going to be interesting. That before they can run for re-election. So
Right.
it is something to note. But there are going to be some people who are going to go with their agendas, and their agendas are not going to be what most people think. Uh, Look, the last one, the Orange County chairs backstabbed a lot of people in the back.
Yikes.
Okay, and I'll call them out. You backstabbed a lot of people there. You did some things that were not were not in the best interest of the Democratic Party. They were in the interest of certain commissioners. I would grant you that,
Yes.
but not of the party. So,
Yeah.
with that in mind, how the new map is going to look is going to be interesting. But we're going to have two districts,
Two.
two new districts,
Right.
which I'm going to make a prediction today, which are going to be full of areas that other commissioners don't want.
I agree, sir. And those two districts, I'm going to make a prediction here, will lean more conservative, Republican, than Democrat.
That is a possibility,
Hmm.
particularly if you make a district out of Winter Park and Maitland.
Thank you. Exactly. Exactly. And to talk about Winter Park and Maitland and District 5, you had Steve Leary and Kelly Simrad, and then in District 1, you had Commissioner Wilson and Austin Arthur, where a lot of money was poured into those two races by the um,
Hotel
you know,
Association and the real.
exactly, and the Realtor Association. Uh, Kelly and Nicole um, made it made it through and won. I think when you look at the demographics, I mean, especially District 5, it is a Democrat district, and you can pretty much go on autopilot, identifying as a Democrat in the nonpartisan race and win that. It's not the same for District 1. It does lean more Republican conservative. And this is the warning to the Democrats in the future, with so much money that was poured into Kelly and Nicole's opponents' races, um, if there was a better strategy implemented for both Arthur and Larry, we could have seen, and of course, this is woulda, coulda, shoulda. However, this is a caveat for the Democrats. They need to understand this lesson. Someone's gonna figure it out and win those seats with a better strategy. So this is more of a cautionary tale for the Democrats, especially with the two new districts being introduced to the commission. If there's a better strategy, we could see a different makeup of the county commission. In the next election, I think we're seeing the mayor up for election, and Mayor Demings is termed out. So there's a lot could be at stake. We're looking at what, the two new districts, and then three of the existing districts. So you have 2, 4, and 6. So wow. So you've got two new districts, the mayor, and then three districts. 6 will stay in the hands of probably Mike Scott, but then 4 is termed out and 2 is termed out. 2 is traditionally gone to in the past, 8 years, to a Republican. A good Republican can or moderate candidate that leans conservative could win the mayor's seat. Uh, you could see the balance of power or the balance of influence move towards the right, away from the left in 2026.
It could happen. That was one of the reasons I said, are you thinking this right by trying to make it an 8 district county? How does this benefit the Democratic Party? Well, some people who think that they know what they're talking about thought that was it. I tend to agree with you that, but the problem is not so much that they do that. Look, I've talked to people, strategists. The problem that they have is not that they're Democrats. The problem that they have is they're not Democrats that they can buy. Uh, I'm sorry. They Many developers thought that there was at least one Democrat that voted for them consistently, which is to the degree certain that is true. To the other degree, there was another Democrat who voted for developers consistently too. So when you tell me, can't if their strategy would be, hey, let's get a woman Democrat that we can know that she's going to vote for us because we could have put her in place, that's the one that scares me. Because Democrats would vote for her thinking that she's a good Democrat when she's a Dino. Uh, that if that was their strategy, they could reach something. Right now, I'm going to be honest, I don't see any alternative other than that.
Yeah.
But this is the concern that I have. If you have a Winter Park Maitland district, you're creating basically a second Republican district here. You would have two, and you would have whatever number that has. You're going to have to be careful what we're going to do with one and how we're going to work it to make sure that one tends to be more Democrat than Republican. And there is a way to do that.
Yeah.
But the question is, are all the backstabbing that's going to be on that county commission, are they going to allow us to do that? Because this is the problem, and I'm going to say this. Nicole appointed two nice people for District 1 for the redistricting who basically should have the agenda that the new people are going to have. They should have taken care of that back then, but they didn't because they were not, probably sat down and say, hey, this is what we want.
Sure.
Most people, commissioners, except two that I could think of, sat down and say, okay, this is what you're going to do. I'm going to appoint you, but this is what you're going to do. The others, and that was 3 and 5. Okay, 1, no. 2, no. 3, yes. 4, no. 5, yes. 6. Basically, at that point, she was leaving.
Yeah.
And she just wanted to protect it to be an African American district more than anything else, which was their agenda, and I have no problem with that. But the truth of the matter is, you're going to create two districts of leftovers. I don't want this, push it over there. I don't want that, push it over there. And you want to know something? Kelly won strongly in Winter Park and in Maitland.
Yep. That's what she needed to win.
And she did. So, this thought that, so I'm just going to put it out there. I do not know what is going to happen, but I'm going to say one thing. We're going to have to think thoroughly and with politically savvy, because thinking that they're going to vote to make good Hispanic representation, African American representation, no. If Nicole's people are smart, they will make District 1 more Democrat.
Yeah.
That should be their goal. 2 should protect that it remains Republican. That should be their goal. 3 has an agenda that we don't even want to go there, but yeah. Because basically 3 is they're going to try to go with an agenda that a certain spouse be able to run in a favorable district for him. 4, basically, depends who's appointed there, should be trying to keep that as Hispanic district and as an Hispanic district Democrat. 5 should try to keep it as a strong environmental district out there that is Democrat. 6 is going to do its best to maintain an African American district that is strong, not let them take off with the excuse we're going to take off a little bit from you, because if we do it this way, we're going to probably make 2 semi-strong Hispanic African American districts. I don't think they're going to accept that.
Yeah.
But I might be confused. and that's fine. The two new districts are not going to have representation on that board. That's why they could have the leftovers.
Jimmy, would it be wise to revisit those redistricting maps that were proposed during the recent redistricting commission that we had not too long ago, about 5 years ago or so?
No, because they're only going to have six, and these any map that's going to have to come out is going to have eight.
Hey, hey, Jimmy, a name popped into my head who would, two names actually popped into my head who would be likely contenders for that newly created district that would encompass Winter Park and Maitland. One, of course, would be Steve Leary, which I can also say if a new district is created out west, it just makes sense that Austin Arthur runs for that too. But the name that popped into mind, who ran a very distant second to Kelly in the District 5 race, would be Joy Goff.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
How well run was Joey's campaign?
It was not. It was not, Jimmy. And it was a passive campaign. Um, I from my point of view as a professional, I did not see the will to win.
Neither did I. So, and I live in District 5, or what the District 5 that exists today. Maybe I might be in a new district. I do not
Mhm.
know. But the, the faith of it, I don't. You see, Joy is in Maitland. She lives in Maitland. She was
Yep.
a city council in Maitland. So if she's going to run, it will be against Steve Lurie. And I'm not sure if.
She'll need to give us a call. She
Yeah,
will. I mean, really, she will. I mean, if she wants any chance of winning, what she's done in the past may
didn't
have
work.
worked, but in a different age. But now, no, no, no. It showed that the wholesome, good feeling, uh, prayer type of campaign that she ran is doesn't work anymore. Those things just doesn't work. And I was thinking maybe she ran for this seat, knowing that it was likely that the voters would add two more districts to the commission because it's been discussed before. It's been discussed 5 years ago. It's been discussed 10 years ago. So if in fact that her intent was just to prepare herself and get her name out there and recognizable and relevant again, and with the thought that a new district will be created in her part of the county, it was smart. There's winning and losing, as I like to say.
Yes, but is she capable of beating Steve Larry?
Um, she will be after she gives us a call, right?
Oh, yes.
Otherwise, Jimmy, no,
No. Okay.
no, no.
Okay.
And
And then you have people like, um, what you want to call it, Joanna, who might be running in District 4, depending how that district ends up being.
yeah,
So she might run in District 4. There's a rumor that Kevin is going to run in District 3. And there might be a piece of District 5 that does not have even Winter Park or, or Maitland.
Maitland, yeah,
That might be from Cimarron all the way to Alafaya.
yeah.
And then we would have to find somebody for that.
Yeah. Eric Gray has
And,
already.
and, and for the record, that's where I live. So I will be very concerned who is running for my commissioner.
Eric Gray has already thrown his hat into the race back in the beginning of October, much to the chagrin of many of us politicals, throwing his hat into a race that didn't start before this past election was even over. But he's tossed his hat into the race for District 4, so he's out there. And I've heard rumblings of other candidates having or other potential candidates or interested parties are discussing running for the seat. However, I think these individuals, based on the surrogate that has been talking to me about them, don't understand the cost, the financial cost to running an effective campaign.
Well, they don't, but at the same time, the question is I've heard from my people that the realtors and the hotel association are going to look into two new districts as places of power because basically they're not going to run against an incumbent.
Yep,
Okay, they're
as they
not.
should be looking at it.
So it is what it is. So it's going to be very interesting. I just want to see what's going to happen with the redistricting. It's going to take about 10 months. How
Yeah,
much max that means there's going to be, how much forward is going to go. Uh, if anything, one of the things that is going to be said to everybody, which was said the last time, throw the lines. Don't look at the people who have announced, which is only one for the
right.
record at this point. Uh, uh, don't vote out. Don't move out the commissioners that exist there, like in 1, 5, uh, 6.
1, 3, 5.
Well, yeah,
It's
I keep thinking that Myra's going to run for mayor, so it's like,
which is a possibility now that
oh, she's announced it. She's told
she's
everybody.
she's got to feel emboldened. The one barrier to her running was Linda Stewart, and from what I hear, past information is that she'll run against Myra if Myra runs for mayor. So that saga continues.
Or she might run for that district against Kevin.
Oh. And then again, that goes to show, she's winning by losing. She loses this seat. She knows what she's dealing with Myra in her campaign, and she will adjust and use what she's learned against the campaign against Kevin Sutton.
Which has the wrong gender.
Yes, I'm done with this nepotism stuff. I'm
Oh,
done.
oh, you're not done with it. Do you know who's going to run for mayor, right?
Word has it that Scott Randolph, Val Demings,
Would that be
also
nepotism?
some serious nepotism.
Okay, just saying.
Hey,
Oh, and you forgot Tiffany Moore.
I was about to mention Tiffany Moore also. Yes, I really don't see Tiffany Moore as a significant contender versus a Val Demings or even a Scott Randolph. I see Scott running the distant second to Val Demings at this point.
That is true.
And
But we will see what happens. But I would like to be. I'm just going to observe on TV at night what the redistricting committee does,
yeah,
uh, because I'm sorry, I don't. The problem is that the idea of eight sounded great, but when we're in the CRC, the problems that it's going to create, I
mm,
think that in a matter of less than 5 years, people are going to regret it. People are going
mm,
to realize that it's going to, you know, right now the hotel and realtors have said, hey, we're going to get into those two districts.
Yeah.
Okay. And if we could keep District 2 a Republican, now we have 3 out of 8. And if we could get a favorable person that in either 4 or for that matter, and 3, and let me explain to you the
I
thing that
did the math, Jimmy. I did the math. I hear you.
people we
Hear you.
but people think, oh well, these people could put together a map that favors Democrats. Did the map that they just passed the last time around, did it favor Democrats? No, it favored a couple of people.
Yes,
Period.
it did.
Stop pretending that it favored Democrats. Not
Yep.
at all. Not at all.
I
The
did.
last time around, I had proposed putting Winter Garden in District 2, which would have made District 1 much more Democrat. But no.
I hope that the Democratic Party, for their own good, are having these conversations and will be prepared to discuss this at their reorganization meeting and have that long term,
No,
vision.
what they need to do is sit down with the county commissioners who are about to appoint and say, we need you to appoint people with this in mind.
Mm.
All
How
right.
successful do you think they'll do? They'll be able to do that.
They might get to Nicole. They might get to Kelly,
Really? Yeah.
who they just recently helped in the election.
Right.
Uh, Maida is going to do what she's going to do. I don't think they're going to.
That's true.
Christina is a Republican, so let's stop pretending. 6, Scott, we never know what to expect from him. I don't mean that with disrespectful,
Right.
but you just don't need know. And basically, that will leave you with 4. And we know Maribel too well that she's going to appoint whoever she feels are loyal to her, her friends, and people that she thinks could do well.
Exactly.
So, it's, I think that is it. So, are you ready for Thanksgiving?
No. I went to the store to get some things for making my mac and cheese, my baked mac and cheese that I typically make, and realized, yeah, I think I'm gonna make another pan because I want a pan for myself and for, my fiance and her family. They can have another pan of mac and cheese. So I'm probably make a pan this weekend and start eating it for myself, and then make another pan maybe Wednesday night. But right now, I'm looking forward to the time off. At the This is the time of the year where I at least try to take some time off.
Are you planning to go to Chicago in the near future?
No, it's going to be South Carolina, Hilton Head.
Ooh, fancy.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. I've been doing that for at least the last 2 years now, and
With,
so it's
with
something
you and
that
Daisy?
that's correct. Yes, Daisy and I, and
Okay.
it's something that I look forward to. So, um, but knowing me, I'll still be working. Maybe we'll do a show from South Carolina.
I like that. I like that.
Excellent. But I so seeing that next Thursday, a week from today, is the holiday. Did you want to come back on Wednesday?
I'll do it on Wednesday afternoon, sure.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. And what what do you have in mind to talk about next Wednesday? We didn't get to what we originally talked about last week about what the local party can do. We kind of touched on it, but did you want to do 15 things again that the local party could do to change?
No,
To
what I would like to do next week is basically do a call for the party to reorganize.
Okay.
Uh, and if possible, cover whatever big things happen between now and then. I mean, we lucked out that Gates quit
Yeah,
about an hour before we recorded the show.
exactly.
Yeah, sometimes you
And,
luck out, and you never know.
and And Jimmy, I did reach out to Linda Stewart, Myra Rive, Kelly Simrad, and Nicole Wilson to be on our show before the election. I did not hear from neither person. So perhaps in January we can reach out to them again once everyone's installed in their positions and whatever, and see if they'll be on the show.
Okay, so will I be meeting you on the 4th?
Um, most likely, most
Okay,
likely, yes.
okay, good.
Yep. And the time may be different, but I'll try to stick to the same time. But yeah, I'm looking
No,
forward.
no, the 4th is a Wednesday. It's the swearing in ceremony.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay. I won't be there because I'll be in South Carolina.
Okay,
Yep. But okay, yeah. So if you're gonna be there, you can tell me all about it that
I
Thursday.
I sure will.
All righty, excellent. And whew, always something good to say, Jimmy. Always something good to say. I really appreciate it. And to our viewers and listeners, if you enjoy what you hear and what you see, please do not hesitate in letting friends, your family, those politicals and influencers that you know, candidates, electeds who may be interested in hearing what we have to say, and share it with them. And please, again, like, comment. We love to hear what you have to say. I share your comments with Jimmy, and I love responding to them. And for those of you who are listening, and we know who you are, keep listening, and we'll see you before
And
Thanksgiving.
by the way,
Yes.
don't be shy. Subscribe.
Indeed. Subscribe. That's what you have to do. Subscribe. We've got hey, there's the playlist, the From the Marges playlist and podcast. So please, subscribe. We really, really appreciate it. All
Okay.
right, Jimmy. We'll see you next Wednesday.
See you next Wednesday.
All right, sir. Take care.
Take care.
Bye now.
Bye.